Bird. Bird is a word. Bird is a word. Hello, bird brains. It is John Barchard, Vince Quinn, and, of course, Taylor Kredatus all hanging out with you. My goodness, Super Bowl week is picking up. Jeffrey Lurie is dropping hints left and right, and it gets me excited because this one might get a little bit bubbly today. I have got I'm going to drop the hammer on you. I'm just going to do it right now, Vince Quinn.
Okay.
Yes, signed Jalen Hurts. Duh. Is he a franchise quarterback? Of course he is. Is he a 10-year quarterback? You bet your ass, and that's what I would give him right now. Give him a 10-year deal. Give him a Patrick Mahomes deal, and let's rock and roll.
You're giving him a 10-year contract right now.
Right now.
For how much?
Whatever the market says. Who cares? Give him the 10-year deal.
$450 million?
Give him $550 million. Go ahead. Give him 55 a year. 55 a year marching forward for the next 10 years. Let's go. Rock and roll. Absolutely. Done deal.
Why?
Because Jeffrey Lurie, for one, just lost all his negotiating power. He, quote, we found what we're looking for. I'm like, yeah, exactly. And you were kind of humping his leg in the draft. I know he was. Like, somebody was. It was either him, Doug, or a collective of like, all right, here's what we're going to do. This is going to be bad. Carson's going to be pissed. But that dude's the guy. So, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Give him a 10-year contract. Make the bet. He's not Carson Wentz up here. Definitely not that guy. I've never seen somebody like take over a city as fast as he has. He's going to continue to get better. And if you give him a 10-year deal right now, it means he ends that contract at 34 years old. Boom. That's insane. Yes, do that. I'll take 10 years of Jalen Hurts. I'm ready to go to the playoffs every year. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up on what you said. That's insane. There's no reason to do that. Patrick Mahomes got that deal because he's Patrick Mahomes. And, like, all the things that go into that could Howie Roseman execute a 10-year contract? He probably could. There's no reason to do it. Look at the standards around the league. I mean, a lot of these guys, you sign 4-year, 5-year deals. They're basically 3-year deals or 4-year deals. And the rest is funny money, and you renegotiate. I mean, it's a whole different world right now. I get that. But unless Jalen Hurts is demanding a 10-year contract, I don't do it. I have no interest in that. 4 or 5 years, give him a standard deal like everybody else.
A standard deal? That's not going to exist after Lamar Jackson drops the hammer. They're $100 million apart in guaranteed money. That's what I'm saying. You better just stamp this one and say we found our guy and don't think about it anymore. And if you don't think he's just as special as Patrick Mahomes, Taylor, you remember this? Oh, sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way for YouTube audience, but at podcast audience, I'm pointing right at him right now. You remember when this son of a bitch, first of all, wanted Russell Wilson and wanted to sink the franchise, and then two, made the ultimate faux pas of comparing him to Tom Brady. You said that. I was even nervous when you did it, and you said it. Reminds me of Tom Brady. And now you're balking at 10 years? Taylor, I hope you can recut that and find that, because how can you go from Tom Brady to fucking, I'm not doing it, not for 10 years. What is a standard contract?
Well, if we want to talk about contracts with Tom Brady, what did he always do?
Oh, my God, Taylor, I can't believe my fucking ears. We're doing the Patriots. I thought we banned that shit on this podcast.
I'm not saying that he should, but if we really want to hammer home the Tom Brady comparison, he went for less. If anything, you're going to love this, John. Let me give you something I know this is right in your wheelhouse. This is going to make you really happy. Keep that coffee in your mouth as you're grabbing a sip here. Because if I'm going to pay him like anybody right now, I'm paying him like Kirk Cousins. 3 years, fully guaranteed. You see where it goes. You're beating the market of Lamar Jackson. You're not committing to this guy for 5 years, but you're giving him a full investment more than your standard contract. If you can do that and you get him at $42 to $45 million a year, all in on Jalen Hurts. But I have no reason, as much as I love the guy, to give him a 10-year contract right now.
What are you so worried about? You'd rather sink all this money right now instead of building up, like, long term. Like, I hope this is I can't believe I'm bringing a baseball comparison into the goddamn Super Bowl week. How dare I? But isn't he Bryce Harper? You give him the long-term deal because you know that dude's the thermostat. There is no more questions about it. When all the hype in the offseason turns into a reality, and we're seeing it in front of our eyes, and he's literally in the Super Bowl right now, and he called his shot when they lost in the playoffs. He said, we're this close. We're this close. And then he got his best friend. He's probably chirping in Howie Roseman's ear every fucking day and said, we just need him and we can ride. And now they're here, and AJ is going to be here, and so is Devontae. This is the time to keep this core together. You have already committed to him. That's what I'm saying. You already have AJ here. You have to pay him as long as that contract is here, and wherever Devontae stands too. I'm not worried about it because Howie Roseman would find a way anyway. But you have to keep that man for 10 years. I don't have to think about it anymore at all. At all. You just have to go find a backup quarterback like that fella from Florida. We'll get into that after the Super Bowl. You just need another young pup behind him, and let's go. He's gonna get injured. Every quarterback gets injured every year. Who gives a fucking shit? Let's go.
It's 10 years. You know how many things can happen in 10 years' time? Anything can happen in 10 years' time. That's part of the reason why you don't do contracts like that and go into Bryce Harper. That's why baseball fucking sucks. Because
they don't have a salary cap, which is why I didn't want to bring in the Super Bowl. Fuck you, Phillies. All right, get out of here.
Yeah, they effectively have one, and it's stupid. The whole thing's dumb. Let's pay a 30-year-old for 10 years. Yeah, that's a great idea. No,
you just credited Howie Roseman fucking last week about paying guys over 30.
For like 2 years. It's not a decade.
34. He'd be 34 by the time that contract ends. 35 if it ends up with it. But that's a perfect contract for this dude right now. Perfect.
No, it's not. You don't have to do that. Like, unless really, if it comes to a point where his agent demands a 10-year contract, then Howie's going to pull some shit, and we'll see what it looks like. But other than that, man, I don't have the drive. I don't think it's the most necessary, biggest thing that they have to do is make sure he's locked in for a decade. We didn't even know if this guy was a starting quarterback at the start of the season. Now, we didn't.
What's this?
I didn't. Fine. I sure hell didn't. Most people didn't. Like, I thought he was talented. I thought he was doing some stuff. Like, I didn't think he was bad, but I didn't think he was necessarily amazing. And like,
I yelled Super Bowl the moment that I found out Howie Roseman got A.J. Brown. I said they're going to go win a Super Bowl. Just give them a little time. And here they are. It didn't even take it. It took one off season.
Yeah.
One. Well, and that kid's special. Is he not special?
He is. Yeah.
And wouldn't the Patrick Mahomes style, I mean, we were having a little coffee chat the other day, and you brought this up beautifully. Patrick Mahomes is going to look so ridiculously cheap right now moving forward because his contract is so friendly because the cap keeps doing that, and it's going to do that again. When's that? Oh, just the next year? Boop. And if you don't think it's going to keep climbing, you're dumb. I'm not calling Vince Quinn dumb. I'm just saying people who don't think the cap is going, maybe that is Vince Quinn. I don't know.
Oh, it's always going up. Yeah, there is everywhere else.
There's so much more room to play, and you got to take the bet now because there's not much left to figure out. Do you not think that Jalen Hurts is going to become an even better passer after this?
He could be a better passer, but how much better is the team around him going to be? He might never in his life have a team this good around him. That might never happen again.
What do you they have already found Jason Kelsey's replacement.
Okay.
Done. Jordan Mailata's locked up. You got to find another. Well, I can't even say that. You have to find someone that is not going to. I'm trying to give Lane Johnson the ultimate credit in the world. I'm just saying there is no other Lane Johnson. But you got to find a right tackle. Fine. Done. Yes. But Dickerson, long term, like this offensive line is not going anywhere, Bubba. I like it.
Two of the 5 pieces might be gone this offseason. Sayamalu could easily get a deal somewhere else this year.
Taylor, he hasn't seen Cam play yet.
Jason Kelsey could retire. I mean, look, even if Cam Jurgens is good, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he one of the greatest centers to ever live? I don't know. And it's not just about the offense. It's about the defensive side of the ball, too. I mean, you look at the Chiefs. Part of the reason why I feel like they're going to beat the Chiefs because, like, Chris Jones is the only guy that really gets sacks. Everybody else has 5 or 6. the Eagles are so deep that, like, Brandon Graham's not even technically a starter, and he's got 11 sacks. I mean, what are the odds that the defensive line is ever this deep again? Like, the secondary is this stacked all across the board. You're not paying TJ Edwards right now. He's looking for a new contract. Like, all these things on all the levels of the defense could change dramatically. And that's because all of that money, you're pushing at least a chunk of it over to Jalen Hurts. So he literally might never play with a team this good ever again, which is why I believe in him and I want to give him more time. And he deserves to be the starting quarterback, unquestioned, for the next, 3 years. But 10?
Taylor Kredatus, 10 years, yes or no?
So I'm kind of in the middle. I would say for now, I would like a short term, but the contract after that, I'm very good with doing a long term.
It's going to cost you so much more when you do that. Then I don't think it really is. You can get in dynasty mode right now if you pay him 10 years. And that's what I want this core to be, because may I remind you, gentlemen, that this is the first year of his best friend being here, and it looks this good, and that has helped Jalen tremendously, and we'd be crazy not to think that way. But Devontae has also taken a massive fucking leap as well, and those three dudes are the firepower. I don't think anyone, especially Howie Roseman, is going to forget the fact, and Jeffrey Lurie is going to forget the fact of how they keep getting back here, and they learned it from the dude that they're fucking playing against, and he kind of forgot that maybe a little bit because he's an offensive genius, as Patrick Mahomes too. But trenches, always. I will scout Iowa offensive linemen for the rest of my life if I know that. Because there's nothing left to think. Do you know how freeing that is, guys? Do you know how freeing it is? It's like, all right, let's just restock the trenches, which you seemed very concerned about, and it opens up miles of opportunity. This is, when we wake up from this Super Bowl high, we're going to realize, oh, right, top 10 pick, number 32 in the draft, probably can go stockpile some more and, make people think they're going to take this big defensive piece and then go get more picks and do it again. There will be other opportunities. Hey, let's go get Ian Book and some preseason tape and make him look so fucking good and go trade him too. Like, let's make the quarterback factory again, because you can do that now. There's going to be offensive coordinator Shane Steichen, and oh my God, the Colts. Do you see the Colts? I don't know what they're doing, but Ian Rappaport looks horrified. I saw that on the Pat McAfee show. If Shane ends up there, now I get it. They want to keep the entire defensive staff together, all of it. They won't let Gus Bradley go. So I can't wait to see what's next for this offense, even if it's something as simple as Brian Johnson or Marcus Brady or whoever it is. And yeah, we talk about that all the time, but this is just the beginning of him evolving, and all of those dudes too. I am perplexed on how you can make dramatic statements and go from Tom Brady to you. Both of you guys are worried about a 10-year deal.
Well, yeah, again, because Tom Brady, it was crazy efficient. It's similar in terms of that, like the mental side of it being there, intangibles, whatever, the team respecting the guy and playing for the guy. All those things are there. But also, like, look at Peyton Manning, right? Peyton Manning, he won that one Super Bowl in like 2006. And then he didn't win again until he was making shit on an amazing team at the very end of his career. I mean, it's just, it's not easy to win when you're a top-of-the-line quarterback. It's amazing that Mahomes is here, and we'll see how many he makes it to, because the whole team around you does matter. Also, think of all the things that are in the Eagles' favor this year, right? Like, nobody's injured on this team. Everybody on every side everybody's healthy and good to go, except for Derek Barnett, future Hall of Famer. But outside of that, everybody's healthy on this team. The conference sucks. We've been saying that all year. It ended up being worse than we thought. I mean, I thought some of these teams were going to struggle, but like Tampa Bay was god-awful and wanted to go home. The Rams never had a shot from the beginning of the year all the way on. The only team that was really a threat was San Francisco, and by the time it got to the game, like, the Eagles were just so much better, and they had the injuries that it just wasn't even a contest. So if I'm looking...
Sure. I'm sorry, Vince. It's just because you reminded me of a good point here. That's exactly why you have to do this. And you tell me if I'm completely off here.
You're already wrong. Yes. But keep going. You're already wrong, but keep going.
T, I also might need you to look this up because I'm just going to go from memory here. Just if you can, NFC quarterbacks, and if I'm missing any, back me up here. But like Dak Prescott, Dallas, total mess. They're going to pay Daniel Jones or make an awful decision, or maybe reach for Bryce Young, which I think is I'll be the one that says it. I think he's amazing. I love him, but that body frame's a little Teddy Bridgewatery. So there's no one in the NFC East that's able to compete right now. The San Francisco 49ers are in one of the toughest spots now in making a quarterback decision ever because, their hero is not going to be ready for the season. Jimmy G's still hanging out, and everybody's giving the finger to Trey Lance, basically, especially the coach. So Jared Goff, okay. Detroit, they're on the uprise. Sure. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love could be an amazing developed find now. He looked really sharp in the time that we saw him there. Fine, great. But, if there's one other quarterback in the NFC that I have to be aware of that I'm missing here, they are miles ahead of everybody. And again, Chicago, major problems everywhere else. Love Justin Fields to death. Think he's on track to being a major superstar if he gets out of Chicago, but that's probably not going to happen. Is there anyone else that you can look at Vince Quinn and be like, yeah, we can't do this because look around and, I mean, the Vikings are fucked. Everyone's fucked. You have the best prize in the world right now, and you need to lock it down.
Yeah, and lock him down for 3 years. 3 years full. If you have to go, if he wants fully guaranteed, and part of it is going to be where does Jalen see it? What does he want? I think that's going to be a really big question because does he want the guaranteed money like everybody else? Does he just want a good contract and the guarantees are right? Whether that's 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
Clutch Sports is not coming in for anything non-guaranteed in my mind.
Well, okay.
Anybody disagree?
But and if he does, I would figure I'm curious to see because right now the market for that is Deshaun Watson, $46 million a year. Somewhere in that ballpark. So if that's what you're going to do, I mean, look, and let's be real here. The Browns hate everything about that contract right now. They would give that up in a second, I think, realizing where that's been a year later. So it is a massive risk, and nobody really does this for good reason. So you want that flexibility. You want to be able to move on. And so
why did the Chiefs do it? Why did the Chiefs do it? And that was when people were talking about, and trust me, Chiefs Nation, Christ almighty, they are two different quarterbacks. Jalen will never be Patrick Mahomes. End of story. But the same type of specialness they saw almost immediately when they're like, well, there's all these weapons. There's Tyreek Hill. There's this, there's that. How do we know? How are we for sure? And then he goes, boop, I know. And I think the same thing's happening here. That's all. How do you... it's the same thing.
Let me go through the contract a little bit. And you know what? I think I can do this. For the people that are watching on YouTube, let me pull up this tab real quick. I'm gonna.
Ooh, we're getting fancy.
Let's go to the board, baby. Okay.
But always, if you disagree or agree with any of this stuff, 215-509-5833. Had some really good text last week, or jump in our Discord at bellthebirdmen.com. But yeah, this is, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll shout it out. But this is Patrick Mahomes' current contract.
Yeah, so the main thing with Patrick Mahomes' contract is these early years, he's getting all the kind of standard things. He's making a lot of guaranteed money, and you're seeing all the dead cap hits. His first year, 130, 94, it's 48 after that. By the time it's 2026, there's no guaranteed money left anywhere. There is no dead cap hit anywhere. So they can just... They have leverage in that case, and I think it leads to a renegotiation. The main thing why I think with Mahomes that they did a 10-year deal, it's the guaranteed money. When you look at this, I mean, they guaranteed him total guaranteed $141 million. And I think prior to a point where teams were doing these guaranteed deals, it was just kind of a discussion. There was also the Aaron Rodgers percentage of the cap stuff a couple of years ago, and none of that came to be. The closest thing you've seen is a deal like this where they're like, all right, we'll give you the most insane amount of guaranteed money that's ever been given, but we're going to do it over a 10-year structure, and all these other things are crazy. 2025, the league year, will then kick in. If he's on the roster at the beginning of 2025, then that triggers 2026. So it becomes a one-year extension, a one-year extension, a one-year extension, and they can just cut him at some point if they want to end the cycle, or they'll restructure it. So the deal is kind of, it's fascinating in its own way, and I'll close the tab. But I think that was really it. On some level, it feels like that was the answer to not doing a bunch of guaranteed money right away and stretching that out. So Yeah, I mean, again, can Howie Roseman do it? Howie Roseman could do
Absolutely.
anything. He could do whatever he wants. He's the most unique, great cap guy of the league, and he's the single biggest advantage that the Eagles have, point blank, period. But unless Jalen's begging for that, I don't see any problem in going with a 3-year deal and fully guaranteeing it, or just giving him a standard 5. And just, hey, as long as the guarantees are there, he's making on average 46, something like that a year, which is about where the market is. Good in my book.
I think this is a time to make your mark. I mean, this is going to end up being a really amazing deal if you do it that way. Especially if, all right, what was his? You remember what his guarantee was? It was 130 out of what?
So Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 141 out of 450.
So there you go. I mean, $550 million, 10 years, and you guarantee 250 to 300 million. Done deal. Let's roll. And you can spread that out however you want over those 10 years. Let's rock and roll. And then Howie can maneuver just like that contract is structured, because I don't know if you know this or not, but hey, the Chiefs and the Eagles are organized about the same when it comes to the cap, because there's so many ties to everybody else. Everybody has their little niches and does things differently. But I would do a Patrick Mahomes style contract for Jalen Hurts, absolutely. So the other thing that caught our eye, and Taylor brought this up too. What was the Le Batard show saying about the Miami Dolphins again?
So over the past 10 years, they've had 9 different offensive line coaches.
Oh my God! And something like the most amount of first-round picks spent on offensive linemen, correct?
Offensive linemen in the first round, and still nothing really going on there.
What loses playoffs and Super Bowls? Well, that would do it. And I think it's because it's Super Bowl week. We won't talk about this coaching staff in particular when we're bringing up Shane and all those guys. You guys know how we feel about that stuff. But they extended Stoutland almost instantly, and is he the most valuable coach that isn't an offensive coordinator, like by pure title? Because I would think so. And since you brought it up last week, what do you think Stoutland would be worth, Vince Quinn, if someone tried to trade for him?
See, a guy like that is easily worth a first-round pick.
And I'd say no.
Easily.
I mean, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Oh, no, I'd do that in a heartbeat. I mean, think about the number of guys that are late-round picks or undrafted players that he develops all the time. It's not just at one position. It's at multiple spots. I mean, the fact that, this team was so deep because, Nate Herbig, who was an undrafted nobody, was able to play center and guard. They ended up cutting him, and then he started on the Jets immediately. That's insane.
Big B, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he crossed.
So you think that's only worth a first-round pick, a guy that can take undrafted free agents, late-round picks, and turn them into high-quality to average to above-average starters?
Well,
I would
you just say he's
hang
not
up.
Pick?
What's that?
I thought you just said he wasn't worth a draft pick.
He's worth 5 first-rounders. I'm saying, I would. If someone said, "I'll give you a first-rounder for Jeff Stoutland," I'd hang up the phone and tell them to go fuck themselves. You would have to trade me the world for Jeff Stoutland. I think he's the most important person on the staff.
Oh, and I can probably agree with that. He's been amazing, and look at all Jordan Mailata is not a thing without Jeff Stoutland.
No way.
He's just
no fucking way. Exactly.
So, yeah. That matters.
Howie Roseman looks like a genius because of that. Because of him.
And Stoutland said he could shape that guy. So, yeah, to put in multiple years to go and develop Jordan Mailata and then he becomes this player that he is, he's phenomenal. So, yeah, keeping Stoutland around is amazing, and part of his value is he only wants to be a position coach. He only wants to be an offensive line guy. There was this great old Mitch Hedberg joke where he would talk about people running the kitchen, being a comedian. They always want you to act and stuff like that. So it was you can cook. Can you farm? And Stoutland he doesn't want to farm. So it's great. He stays in the kitchen, he keeps on cooking, and he knows what he's doing. He's a master of his field. So like, yeah, there's a ton of value in that. It means everything to this franchise. The fact that he's been here through, I mean, how many years now, and through Chip and Doug and whatever, it's like, it's amazing. So yeah, I love Stoutland, and yeah, you're probably right. Like multiple firsts is like, it would have to be a haul to get that guy.
Once again, proving the point that Chip Kelly completely got them to this point and made them reshuffle their entire organization. No big deal. I don't think it's and man, like I probably, everyone says, oh, this doesn't get talked about enough, but the importance of Jordan Mailata hitting it should be insane to everyone's brain. Him too. He's doing all the work. So like Jordan's doing all of that, and you have to be open-minded to all that. But I specifically remember, and somehow somebody found the video of it on Twitter. But I remember asking Jason Kelsey during that offseason, because this is right after the Super Bowl that they're doing this shit, and I go, is the silver lining like there is no bad habits with Jordan Mailata, and Stoutland can kind of like shape dudes into iron? And he goes, he was really suspicious of like, yeah, I mean, sure. And that's how amazing Jeff Stoutland is. So like, I think he's more important than Nick Sirianni. I think he's as equally as important as Howie Roseman. So whatever Howie Roseman's worth to a team, that's what I think he's worth in draft picks. That might be a strong take, but
yeah, Howie's worth at least twice that, if not more. It's caps, man. Like salary caps are everything, and all the picks that he generates and all. He's the greatest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean,
how many? Oh, I'm sorry, Vince. How many fucking guys are that good and that well liked at the same time? That's almost impossible to find in the league, isn't it? Everyone's great or a dickhead or nice and not as good as you'd like them to be. I guess Andy Reid fits that mold, but
yeah, it's like I don't know. I for as far as I've heard, Robert De Niro's a great guy. He's Robert De Niro. Like he's just everybody likes him. He's been in the game forever. Super popular guy. He's great at what he does. He's just.
Oh, you mean Bob?
Yeah, oh, you guys are on a first name basis?
Oh, yeah, come on.
Did you like serve a table?
I had his phone number in my phone at one point. No, I didn't. I wish I did. That would be cool, though.
I would believe it. You've had so many random celebrity encounters over the years.
Shout out to what's that kid's name from Accepted and
Justin Long?
Justin Long, yeah. We got real drunk in the back of a fucking 66 Mustang taking one of his co-stars around. That was really fun. So that actually happened. It's Super Bowl week, and anything can happen, baby. Just like 10-year contracts, Jeff Stoutland taking over the world. I'm so excited, man. I was like, I got to be honest with you. I was going into like Friday, Saturday, Sunday going, I don't know, man. I was like, this kind of feels different. I don't know how to act, and now I just want to kill the Chiefs. So it feels good. Everybody looked good on the national stage. I didn't watch a second of it. I just watched highlights and saw quotes, and good for everybody. But I don't know. I'm feeling great, guys. Any final thoughts here?
Yeah. I've got this beautiful hat on, and you should make sure you go and pick that up, forbiddencanvas.net, or you can go to our website, bellandthebirdmen.com. It is corduroy. It feels so good. I just dropped one of these off. Actually, I was at the Flyers game last night, which I never thought I would say. And I got invited by a buddy of mine, and he had bought the hat. Hey.
Oh, wow. All right.
Free ticket, okay? Free ticket. That's all I'm going to say. But he took me down to the game. I brought him the hat. He had bought it from us, so I brought it down to him. He was wearing it the whole game. He was thrilled. His uncle was there like, holy shit, that hat looks awesome. So, yeah, if you want to have your uncles go, holy shit, that hat looks awesome, this is the number one hat for that market. That's how we tested it. So, yeah, I'd rather be watching the birds, bellandthebirdmen.com. Go check it out.
T, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Perfect hat to wear to a Flyers game, because I would rather be watching football than the Flyers.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're allowed to go to a Flyers game if you're wearing that hat.
They were leaning into the Eagles big time last night. Swoop was at the game, which was weird because like he's not in L.A. or Arizona. He's at home, so Swoop was there. They did a challenge where like people had to throw a puck through these little things, and they had to hit like a Giants logo and a 49ers logo and a Chiefs logo. I was like, man, they're really struggling, aren't they?
Oh yeah, wasn't somebody carrying a huge sign last night that said like "Let's go Eagles" or something? Like
yeah, our
gritty?
buddy Jim McMahon that we always see out on the road.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so Jim McMahon was there, and he had the sign up, and they
He got on TV and everything.
Screen. Yeah. It's Jim knows what he's doing. He's a pro.
What a pro. Just like all of you, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and make sure you are giving 5 stars in the podcast, hitting that thumbs up down there, notification subscriptions on the old YouTube. Jump in the Discord, too, because it is getting hot and heavy in there, and a lot of fun. BellTheBirdmen.com or simply text us 215-509-5833. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with some more spicy takes. I don't know. We'll find out. See you guys. Bye-bye.